Today, we're going to check out the newest wide-angle lens by Ulanzi for the Osmo Pocket. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. I just bought this Ulanzi wide-angle lens for the Osmo Pocket here, and as you can see, I have Ulanzi's original wide-angle lens on there because I really like it. Now, one of the things that isn't great about this is that there seems to be a little bit of distortion and the lens is a little bit smaller than some of the competitors. Now, enter this Ulanzi lens. Now, this is a lens that advertises itself to be as good as the other wide-angle lenses that are available, and I think everything about this is supposed to be a little more premium and a little bit bigger. And one of the big things that we'll be testing here is distortion around the edges. So let's take a close look at the physical differences first. So here's what we get with the new Ulanzi lens. First of all, it comes in this nice little hard case here so you can carry it around, microfiber cloth right up here, and then the lens itself fits right in here. The nice thing about this little packaging is I can put the old lens and the new lens together in one spot, so I know that I have them together with me, and you can see what the lens looks like there. Now, before I show that to you, I'm going to just pull off my old lens here because I think the differences will be pretty stark. So if we look at the old lens, you can see that the lens piece here is kind of like a button that hovers above the platform there just a little bit, but you can see this new lens is quite a bit bigger, and it actually looks a little bit more like a camera lens in some ways. You can see that it kind of raises itself off the deck, has a knurled edge. You can see that the lens in diameter is much bigger, and apparently this will be a much better lens overall. You know, clarity, sharpness, less distortion. And so the only way we're going to know for sure is that we're going to have to test them out side by side. It also has the magnets, so it fits in there. And I would also say that I think in here it seems like a tighter fit. You can still get a little wobble. If I put the old one back here, you can see that it also has a little bit of clearance, but you generally won't notice that. I mean, it doesn't have to be the tightest fit because the gimbal here stabilizes everything and prevents it from having big impacts, but I would just say this seems to have a really good fit. So you can see that kind of looks like a camera lens sticking out there, and if we put on the old one, it's more of just like almost a camera phone lens. All right, let's try them out in the real world. So first we need a baseline. I'm just walking up my driveway here, and this is the DJI Osmo Pocket without any lenses on it at all. And what you can see here is that the shot is pretty tight, and that's actually one of my biggest complaints about this, is that it works well, stabilizes well, but you don't get a lot of action in each shot, and especially if you're shooting indoors with it, that leaves some things to be desired. So let's try the wide angle lens. So same type of shot, I've just got the wide angle lens, the cheaper one, the original Ulanzi lens on there. And what I like about this is you get so much more in the shot. But what you might be able to see here is if you look right around the edges, right at the edges, what you might be able to see is a little bit of distortion. And I'm not even sure that I call it distortion, but maybe fuzziness or graininess, and that's because of kind of how small that lens is. So let's put the larger one on and check that out. So third and final shot, I've got the new wide angle lens on the camera now, and you should be able to see you can get a lot in the shot. And again, if you look right around the edges here on both sides, hopefully that is pretty crystal clear. Hopefully you don't see that kind of fuzziness or that really edge distortion like you would in the other ones. And so I am hoping that this is going to be my wide angle lens of choice, especially when I'm shooting inside hotel rooms, hotels, resorts, in cars, those types of things, because I think we can bring in more into the picture here without sacrificing any of the quality. This is the newest one, and it's also about half the price of some of the other lenses that look like they are the same thing, but just at a higher price point. So I'll put a link to it in the description if you want to pick one up. Peter Von Panda, out.